Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your friend James Shaw. Thank you so much for choosing to be here today as we grow and learn and get better together. That's what we do. And we always talk to elite people who are doing elite things. And most of the time, we spend our time together talking about how can we grow your business? How can you take more listings? How can you work with more buyers? That's what we do all the time. Today, we're going to start it off a little bit different. And we're going to hear the story of an agent who has overcome more than just about anybody else probably watching this has, but has a story that you need to hear because maybe it'll help you or someone you know. And then we'll talk, if we have time, about how to grow your business too. We'll see what happens. But Stacey, thank you so much for being with us. Would you tell us who you are and where you are and a little bit about you?
Yeah, hi. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm Stacey Mathews-Johnson. I am a single agent out of Daytona Beach in the Volusia County area. I have been in real estate. I'm on my 5th year, and I've been with Keller Williams the entire time. And I am the #1 single agent here in my area, and I just bleed red. I drank the Keller Williams Kool-Aid.
And it's paying off. Congratulations
Yeah,
for the success you've
yeah.
had. And it's
Thank you.
really easy for us to look at people who have been successful and go, well, they've got it all together. But true
Mhm.
story is that, 10 years ago and before that, you didn't have it all together. And
No.
this April, you're celebrating 10 years of being clean
Yeah.
from some really challenging things that dominated your life for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And so I want to walk through that. Like I said, if we have time to get to business, we will. If not,
Yeah.
we'll do a separate session with you on that. But I want to walk through some of that because 10 years clean is a huge deal. Would you
Mhm.
walk us through just a little bit about your story?
Yeah. So this year, April 28th, I'll have 10 years clean and sober, which is a really big deal, having double digits. I mean, it's a just for today thing, but my whole life is recovery. I do a 12-step fellowship. I'm in Narcotics Anonymous, but it wasn't always that way. I came to the rooms of recovery on death's door. I had beaten my life down to whatever the lowest you can think of. I was lower than that.
Yeah.
When you see the people on the side of the road walking that are homeless, that have bags, that was me. I got clean because I was pregnant with twins. I had endocarditis, which was vegetation of the heart. And I was in the hospital for 4 months. I was 30 years old and I was about to die. I had to have open heart surgery. I had my lungs collapsed. I had to have some kind of surgery. I can't even remember the name. It's so long. It starts with a P. But I'm cut from here to here on my back. I'm cut from here to here on my front. And I'm cut from here to here on my side. And then I also lost twin babies. I've been through a lot of things, and life took me. And I say that also to say that I was not raised to do any of these things. I came from a good family.
Yep.
I was raised. I went to Catholic school. My parents gave me absolutely everything, and a couple wrong turns, and that's where I ended up.
Changed everything for you, but you've been given a second chance. Is what I mean. That surgery is a life or death. It has a low success rate. It is one that it cannot be repeated. So if you were to go through the same sort of thing again, it would not work out for you. You're given a second chance, and you've taken it, and it's worked for you. The thing I want you to unpack a little bit is that this was, as you said, you grew up with parents who loved you in an environment where you were well liked and involved in a lot of activities. You were a dancer, you were a cheerleader, you played sports. I mean, all of the things. But you made a couple of decisions that started to move you another direction. And then, of course, this is a disease. So then it takes over and you have to kind of battle this thing every day. But what were some of those things that, kind of started in high school and transitioned into adulthood? What were tell us that high school to adulthood journey and how it just kind of built on itself.
Yeah. So even though I've always been able to make friends easily or I got along with my peers well, I've always felt different internally. And even though my parents always told me I was beautiful and smart and I could do anything I wanted, in here, I never felt that way. So I was always acting out outside of myself to change the way I felt. And I found that on an early age, drugs and alcohol gave me this sort of courage, or they masked my feelings so that I could do all the things, because I never felt like what people told me the words were. I up here never matched with that, and I found that if I did, drink with my peers or whatever, I did find that I felt like I was good enough then to be in that circle. most of the time, like people use over the feelings. People use drugs and alcohol. Like alcohol is just as dangerous. They use over the feelings that our brains can tell us. And it was just very, very loud to me at all times, and it shut that up.
Yeah, and this is something I appreciate you bringing it up. That I mean, you were doing some very heavy stuff. It would be easier for us to give a list of things that you didn't try than to go through the list of things that you did. And we don't have to go through all of it, but it was a lot. It started with alcohol and expanded from there. And so you've made this decision that all of that is out from your world. And I think it's important that in an industry that alcohol can be free flowing, you go to an event and it's there. It's very easy to get to. I don't know, what would your advice be to someone who's wondering, do they need to step back from even something like having a drink at an event?
Yeah. So I made the decision when I got clean that I'm cutting out all mood and mind altering substances. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I even quit smoking cigarettes because just anything that's just not conducive with my recovery, I just can't do. I'm not a gray area. I'm black or white. And obviously with real estate, drinking is celebrated. I mean, they give alcohol at closings, so it's everywhere. I've had to learn some tools in it. I don't stay for the entire party. I always have an exit. I go around people that also respect my recovery and don't bring me in unsafe situations. And I have a cutoff time. Like I'm not closing these places down. I go for the first hour or two, but when everybody starts to get sloppy, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
Because it's not where I belong. Or I've also found we're so lucky at Keller Williams to have clarity and to have other people and groups that get it. Yep. So like I can talk to other people that also understand, because that's the biggest thing, is that we just need connection and people getting it. Like me too is such a powerful statement.
You have found a community to be able to support you, and I love that. And you had made this transition, but it did get almost life or death, basically, for you to be able to make that choice. Tell me, how did you go from there to where you are now? What was that journey like, from the bottom of the bottom to now the #1 agent in your office?
Well, I joke sometimes, first of all, that I think God saved me because he knows I have such a big mouth that I'm going to tell the world what he's capable of, and I'll never shut up about it. But I'll tell you, I was in the hospital again. I had gotten clean briefly, and I thought I was sick again with the endocarditis, and they'll only do the surgery one time. So for a couple of days, we thought that I was going to hospice. I was 30 years old, and I thought my life was over. This was after my first surgery, mind you, and when the doctor told me that, you have a chance, you're not dying, we're not transferring you to hospice, but you have to stay clean, and then we'll do the surgery again. And that's when I just, as something switched inside of me, and here, and I was like, okay, I'm doing everything. I just want everything life has to offer. And that's what I did. And I just charged life. I became so grateful. Like I noticed how blue the sky is, how green the grass is, how beautiful the mountains are. I try to look in people's eyes and inside their hearts. It like just completely changed who I was as a person. And I was going to do everything I could for the second chance. Like I could cry about it right now, actually, because where my life is today, like I should be dead. Like I should be dead. My parents planned my funeral. My son thought he was saying goodbye to me every time he came to the hospital. And instead, like it's not even being the #1 producer. I mean, even though that's great, like it's cool, but like I can't even articulate how good my life is, but also feels,
It's really quite the story. At that time, you're 30 years old and you're wondering if you're dying. You also at the time had, what, a 13 or 14-year-old son who is living with his father and stepmother because you can't parent at that time. And now you and your son have, from what I understand, a great relationship. But it was one of those that I don't know, it finally got your attention. And I think a thing about hitting rock bottom, and if that's not rock bottom, I don't know what is rock bottom, Stacey, but the thing about people who hit rock bottom is that they often make a success out of themselves, because hitting rock bottom is really hard. Now listen, I don't want people watching to go, oh good, I just need to hit rock bottom, I'll be successful. Let's learn from your experience of hitting rock bottom. How did hitting rock bottom turn the story for you to allow you now to build something that is so unique and so successful?
Yeah. I mean, once you've kind of gone through all these things, it's like nothing can really phase me too much. I mean, I've been so close to death that like, what is this market going to do? What is this feeling going to do? Whatever it is, I can get through it. You know, it also really, really, really strengthened my relationship with God. And somebody doesn't have that. It's just something outside of yourself that you can believe in to guide you through the toughest time, because like life is not all dandelions and daffodils. Things are hard. And I believe in doing the hard thing always, like, you know, whatever's worth having is worth working for. And hitting rock bottom is what instilled that into me. It just when I say, I can't even articulate correctly the amount of willingness the rock bottom gave me. Whatever it is, I'll put the effort in. If I want to have it, I'm going to do it, you know? And that's just the mindset I have. And it correlates in every area of my life. It's not just real estate. It's not just recovery. I also gained a lot of weight when I first got clean, and I've used it to everything. Every single thing in my life is because you just put the work in and you'll get it.
That's really, really good advice. What would you tell someone who's struggling with addiction, that you know, maybe they're listening to this and they know that the path they're on is not a path of promise, that they've got to make some changes? What advice would you give to them?
Reach out for support. Like, we need people. We should not be doing life alone. And it is the biggest catalyst to change in my life is the people I surrounded myself with, both in recovery, real estate, all of the areas. Like, reach out to somebody that has gone through what you're going through, and let God do the rest. That's always my answer for it.
It's quite the story. And then in addition to all of that, you've built an amazing business too, and have some really great strategies to do it. And so we're going to do another episode with you, Stacey, where we're going to unpack some of that stuff. So if you've watched this one and you are inspired by her story, but are curious about, well, what is she doing to make it work so well? Just make sure you find the second video that we did with Stacey, so you can apply what she's doing specifically with listing videos to generate even more listings. Stacey, it led to what? You doubled your listing inventory in 2024 due to this strategy?
I doubled my listing inventory and I doubled my business in 2024. Yeah.
It's perfect. So tune back in for that one. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Stacey, I'm so proud of you. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.